konnichiwa, konbanwa. Welcome to the Two Gamer Dads podcast, episode 17, the one where Ian is no longer in Singapore, or what we call
Finally.
the Sendai episode. Finally, good riddance.
Goodbye.
I'm, I'm Gamer Dad 1, Ian, and with me as always is Gamer Dad 2, Marv. Hi, Marv.
Hello.
Before I say anything, I just want to ask, how hot is it right now in Singapore?
Oh, bro. My aircon has been on
I heard
like the
the
moment
whole
I
the
came
whole
home. Yeah.
Don't you wish you have a smart home? You just like turn on and it cools down your house
I mean, I
before you
could get
go.
one of those like, those switch bots that you can program to like help you press the thing.
Mm,
So the box has one, right? Yeah. But no
mm.
lah. I just come home and turn on the aircon because it's been really, really hot. And
Yeah,
then,
I heard.
yeah, my parents are staying over, right? Because my parents' place
Oh,
is
are
under
they still there?
renovation. Yeah, they're still here.
Oh,
So we've been watching SEA Games at night together. Then, like when I come home, then I'll be like, hey, why is the aircon not on? On lah, don't paiseh.
they don't have to use your electricity bill now. That's why they're scared.
Yeah,
They pay.
I think so too.
Yeah. Anyway, for those of you joining for the first time, we're just two dads who are avid gamers who talk about a lot of gamer stuff, but also talk about being dads. And welcome to anybody who hasn't joined this podcast before. You can go back and listen to all our previous podcasts with all our other guests. Usually we have a guest on to just chat about different things, but today it's kind of just the two of us because we just between the two of us there's already a crap ton of content to talk about because of my move to Japan. So yeah, maybe before we start, just to preface this, I Marv has been watching PewDiePie's move to Japan,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
for those of you who don't know who PewDiePie is he still the most popular YouTuber?
He's the
The most popular?
most subscribed individual on YouTube.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So he has also moved to Japan. He was been planning his move for three
Same as you.
years.
Like 2 years plus 3 years. Yeah.
Mm. And he also kind of arrived around the same time as
I
me,
think the
right?
same week that you flew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised because a lot of people came here at the same time just because the borders open. So,
Yeah.
like, the floodgates,
You flew
everybody.
the
Rushed.
final week of April, right?
Yeah, I flew on the
Yeah.
29th.
So I think a couple of days ago he posted a video that he flew last week or the previous week,
Yeah.
which is the same week as you lah.
The difference between him and me is that I flew SIA economy and he flew a
No,
private
okay.
jet.
So you saw the video, right? You saw the video. So he didn't want to fly private. He wanted to fly like just regular airlines. But it's his pets lah. Yeah.
Yeah, he has two dogs, and the dogs were too fat for the plane,
Yep.
basically, right? I mean, he would have still flown first class anyway, right?
Probably lah.
Yeah, his dogs would have a seat each in first class. Honestly, I think if he bought 4 seats in first class for him, his wife, and his two dogs, it would still be cheaper than the private jet.
Yeah, maybe, but I think he didn't have time, right?
Yeah. No, I think he just didn't want to risk it.
Mm.
Like, he could have just brought the dogs on, but because I can understand that. If you've been planning something for 2.5 years and you finally have the chance to do it, you don't want anything to screw up. So you will, and he said he has the money, so he can throw whatever he wants at it to make sure he gets here.
Hey,
Yeah.
hi Terrence.
Hi, Terrence. Private Jake's good content.
Yeah,
I
to be
wish
fair,
I
to
flew.
be fair to him, he didn't fly private jet because he wanted to have content. So what happened was that his
Mm,
his dogs had some issue where they were 2 kg above the maximum weight, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then all the
Hello.
airlines that he searched couldn't take his dogs. They were like what 10 kg
Yeah.
each.
Yeah.
Yeah, the limit was 8 kg. So he had no choice but
Yeah.
to fly private
His
jet.
dogs are heavier than my daughter. Heavier than Rebecca.
Oh, is Becca
Okay, but
still
maybe
so
on
light?
that. Yeah, I think Becca's maybe just hit 10 or something like
Okay.
that. I haven't weighed her in a while. Okay, but anyway, talking about that topic, let's kind of like talk about my trip as well.
Yeah, man.
So I flew on the 29th. I flew from Singapore to Narita in the morning. So I took a 9:30 flight. And this is my first ever flight with a kid. My daughter is Rebecca's about 1 year, 1.5, almost 1.5 years. And it's a 7 hour flight. Although it was quite short, I think in the end it was only a 6 hour plus because we had a tailwind. And I figured that it's a long time for 7 hours to entertain a 1.5 year. And for those of you who know, Becca doesn't watch TV. She doesn't enjoy watching TV at all. Like she doesn't want to watch it at all. So which is good. I think it's good that she doesn't like to consume media content yet. So if she doesn't consume any media content, it means the only way you can satisfy her to keep her entertained is either she sleeps, that's the number one option.
Mm-hmm.
She eats, so you feed her things. But after at to a point, there's only so much you can feed her before she's like, okay, I'm done. And the third thing is you play with her lah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So but I think it was a really good 7 hours. I think she fell asleep twice, so she napped on me twice, and I kind of just stood at the side of the plane. Then like when the plane goes in turbulence, I'm like, no, because they make you sit down they make you sit there and put your seatbelt on, right?
Yep.
I'm like, no,
And
I
you
have
had to
to
pick
sit
her
back
up on
down.
the bassinet, right?
Yo, she doesn't sleep in the bed. So it was so funny. We asked for the bassinet at the start, so they clip the bassinet on, right? So there's like an attachment that you clip on, and then we put her in, and for like 2 minutes, she was so happy. She's lying there, staring at us. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Then after 2 minutes, she was like, "Nope, I'm getting out of here." Then she got out, and 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 she didn't want to go back in again. So we just asked the flight attendant just
But during
remove it.
like takeoff, taxi and takeoff, you have to hold her, right?
You have to. So there's an additional seat belt that kind
Yeah.
of attaches to your seat belt.
Yep. So you have to hold her during takeoff, right?
Yes, yes. So you just attach her in it. Yeah. So we asked for the bassinet after we got to cruising altitude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
But
way, I think you've heard, right? Terrence is a new dad as well.
yeah, congrats, bro.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Congrats, Terrence.
an amazing and sleepless journey.
Poco Loco in the chat. I think he's on paternity leave now. All right.
Yeah,
Join the club.
probably. I think yeah, enjoy it, man. I can't remember. I don't know whether Mark, do you remember when Meredith was like a month old? Do you still remember?
I remember the lack of sleep, lah, for sure.
I I'm trying to think whether it was easier or worse, or easier or harder, like compared to now,
What do you mean? Like,
in terms of
obviously
like
harder, definitely
time
harder.
spent,
I mean, when they
like,
were when they were like just 1 month or even a couple of months, they were waking up like what every. Okay, like Becca slept
yeah,
well, right? Meredith was waking up like every
yeah,
two
about two
hours.
hours,
Yeah,
yeah, 2 3 hours, yeah. But also in a sense, when they're down for the count. Like
yep,
they don't move. You don't need to worry about them moving out of the cot or
yep,
crawling elsewhere.
yep,
Yeah, but I think now yeah, it's definitely harder because I have a cousin. I have a my sister-in-law is my brother-in-law also has a newborn. I look at it, I'm like, okay, it was quite shag actually. The first 3 months, so hanging in the terrace, it gets easier because you can train them more.
yeah.
So it gets easier over
My
time.
my my biggest tip to Terrence, Poco Loco in the chat is sleep train your baby ASAP. Don't wait
Yeah,
too
before
long.
they can crawl.
Yeah, seriously, don't
Yeah,
wait too long.
tahan the crying. Just run the crying for a bit. It will make a lot of difference.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I think if you want to travel, it's good to travel with a young kid. Like before your kid can crawl. Actually, it's quite short. Because when your kid can crawl and do a lot of things, it's harder. I actually think like there's a sweet spot. Like before 1 is a good time to travel, and like 1 to like where Becca is now and to like 3 years old, I don't think it's great time to travel because they have a lot of energy they need to expend, and you have to expend it for them. Yeah. So maybe after 3, I think might be a good time to
yep.
travel. Hi, who's Ajay? Do you
Who's
know?
Ajak? Who are you? Identify
I mean,
yourself.
Prime Gaming, Hey, hi Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think when we landed in Narita, it was quite so the thing that I had a lot of fear of was that when you land in Narita, there's this whole process you need to go through where Japan will
That must be Crystal,
force
by the
you.
way.
Oh yeah, maybe it's Crystal. Hi Chris. Yeah, I think it is. Um, where Japan will ask you to do all these COVID test checks because
Mm-hmm.
they're very right now they're just letting people, so they're very paranoid. So actually, before those of you who don't know, if you need to go to Japan, you have to do like a whole series of pre-flight things. Like that includes uploading your vaccination certificates. You must be triple boosted. There's all these different things all these different documents you must upload. And then once you upload it, 72 hours before you fly, your app will say have like a green sign. And that green sign, when you land in the airport, basically, the moment you show the green sign on your phone, right, they like bring you to the fast track. It's like when you go to Disney World or
Yeah,
Disneyland.
I just heard about it today because
Oh,
the
really?
latest Trash Taste episode
Ah,
was about something like it's Japan is finally open or something like that. So
yeah.
I think Giguk, right, Kant, he went to the UK and then he had to do the thing where he came back. Then he said like you just flash your green thing and then they let you through. But if you don't have it, you're stuck for like damn long, right?
Yeah, as in you have to basically do a lot of different tests and checks again. Yeah, so it's not ideal. So you kind of want it. So I was very worried. And Chris, to answer your question, I will kind of show you later. But where I'm staying now is a temporary place. That's a whole nother story that I'll share
Yeah.
later. Um, but it's this is just a very temporary two um what's this called again? Tatami rooms, and where I'm sitting now in the living room. Yeah, but basically when you land, if you have the green card, it basically took us 1.5 hours to do our COVID tests and go through all the. They give you like a ton of paper, so you go to like I don't know how many stations, maybe 10 stations, 8 to 10 stations.
Mm.
At each station, they give you an additional piece of paper. Japan loves paper. They just keep giving you a different piece of paper to sign off, and then you have to hand that paper to the next station where they would sign the paper and they give you another piece of paper. So by the time you finish, you're holding like 10 pieces of paper,
Like
wondering what to do with
like
it.
going for IPPT last time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like, can I throw this away? Then even after the whole thing's over, you're like, do I throw this away? Do
Scared,
I?
right?
Can I?
Scared.
Yeah, it's like, what if I throw it away and they ask me, where's the paper?
Die. Do
Then I'm
again.
like, I'm sorry, I don't have it. Deport. Um, yeah, so it took us like 1.5 hours, and it's very interesting because Singapore does the nasal pharyngeal, whatever it's
Oh yeah,
called, the
they do
swab,
the spit
the
test,
nose
right?
swab. Yeah, they do
Japan
the
does a
spit
spit.
test.
Yeah.
So it's super funny because they gave me this tube, and they were like, okay, spit into it. Then I was like, okay, how much? Then they show you, what's it, 2 ml? No, 3 ml. And if you've never tried to spit 3 ml, if you guys want to try, go and try. Go and take a measuring cup and try to spit 3 ml worth of spit. It's actually a lot. Like you have to do, I would say 6 to 7 times of like, yeah. And then after you get off the plane, your mouth is dry.
Dry. Yeah. Correct.
And
Because
then
of
they,
the
then
air and the atmosphere out there, right?
yeah, then they asked Rebecca to do it also. I'm like, come on, man. There is no way I can get my 1.5-year-old daughter to spit 3 ml of spit. Enough for you to test her. Oh, then they gave her a pipette, like the pipette, the
Yep.
chemistry set where you're supposed
Yep.
to like extract. I'm like, this will take forever if I try to pipette 3 ml of spit from her tongue. And then the moment I tried to like bring it to her mouth, right, she just did this. She just sealed her mouth tight. Like I'm not letting go at all. I'm not releasing any ounce of my precious saliva to you. Um, yeah. So that was so in the end they did a nasal swab for her. But I would say the people in the airport are super friendly and super professional. Like they're very fast. The
Mm.
moment that you need something, they will help you to settle it immediately. And they're very, very friendly. Like they like I think they all kind of it's part of the Japanese culture, but they also know like, you just went through a long trip and everything. So I think they've ironed I came like a month after Japan opened. So I think they've kind of ironed out the kinks.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I was carrying a crap ton of luggage. So we bought additional luggage, but we exceeded our luggage by like 15 kilos basically.
15
So
kilos.
I'm
Wow.
basically 15 kilos. So I basically carried 150. We have 115 kilos worth of baggage essentially. Yeah. But the good thing about Japan, there's something called taku haibin. So basically, when you reach Narita Airport, right, there's this counter at the very end, and you can basically ship your luggage to your destination.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you can basically instead of lugging your luggage around, I would recommend if you plan to go to any part of Japan that is not in Tokyo and you don't want to lug your luggage around, you can use this Takuhai bin system, and they'll deliver. They'll actually like tell you when they'll deliver. So for me, it was like 3 days from now. Yeah, and it's very accurate, and they even give you like the time frame that like
Oh
or in the
wow.
morning or maybe 2 o'clock. Yeah, they'll actually give you an exact time where like a 2 hour time where they will deliver it, and
Can
it's not
you
expensive.
can you
Like I think for
choose like what day it gets delivered?
yes,
Like let's
yeah,
say
you
you
can.
want to
I think you
delay
can.
it a bit.
Yes, I think you can. Yeah, you probably
Okay.
can. But I don't know how late you can delay it for lah. Maybe like they gave us 3 days. I think you want to delay like 1 or 2 days, it's probably okay. But if you wanted to tell them like, oh, do it in 2 weeks, they might not do it because then you're not delivering, you're
Yeah.
just
Okay.
using it as a
Using it as
storage.
yeah.
It's using it as
So for
storage.
example, if we were to go to Japan and then we wanted to visit you guys, but we wanted to
Yes,
stay in Tokyo for like 3 days first before we head down to
correct.
Sendai, then we could use the
Mm,
service to send the stuff to your place, right?
that's possible.
Like
Yes,
extra
yes.
luggage or
Or
whatever.
another way to think it, another way is that hotels in Tokyo will actually keep your luggage for you also. So you can do it the other way. You bring all your luggage to the Tokyo hotel.
Mm,
You tell the Tokyo hotel to keep that luggage that you're not going to bring. And then when you come to Sendai, you bring just the luggage that you need over there. You know what I mean?
mm.
Yeah. So that's another way. But it's a very good system. So if you ever need to come to Japan, use Takubin. Is that Takubin? I have no idea what Takubin is. But Takuhaibin is just, I think it's just the technical term for it. Or maybe that's the company. Yeah, maybe it is. And it's very cheap. Like I mean, it's cheap for how far it went.
Mm.
If you go to Okinawa or Hokkaido, it's more expensive. But like per luggage, like we had a big luggage, it's like $30, mm, which is okay.
You want to explain
Um,
to Crystal what Twitch is?
uh, don't so Crystal, Twitch is like everything. They don't just chat about games.
Yeah,
There are people who eat mukbang on
on
Twitch, so
Twitch.
they eat
Yeah.
for your enjoyment. People
Oh, it's
who
Kenny. It's Kenny.
yeah, it's Candy lah. Okay. So Kenny, they use it for eating mukbang. They use it for anything that they need an audience for.
Yeah.
This platform is for them to stream the video to. Yeah. So anything from playing games, some people like build things, and then people obviously use it for not safe for work content. So they use that as well. Yeah. I think Twitch is like one of the largest companies
It's
in
the
terms of like
largest like live streaming platform lah
yeah, live streaming
at the
platform.
moment. Yeah, people use it for really everything, even
Yeah. Mhm.
like travel, virtual travel also. You can follow
Mm,
people who are
yeah.
traveling around the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not OnlyFans. Not OnlyFans.
Different, different. They
Twitch
have dumb
is family safe, more or
family.
less. There
Quite
are
hard.
some risque channels like bordering on the edge. Yeah, so those are like for mature audiences only lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, when we reached, we stayed one night in Narita because when we landed, it was like 6 o'clock Japan time, 6 p.m. Japan time, or 5 p.m. Japan time. And then with a kid, you can't. It's not a good idea to like travel more than I don't know, more than 14, 15 hours because your kid gets cranky and everything.
Yep.
So we booked a hotel in Narita, and it was very cold and rainy. And then because it's a hotel room, we actually like had to set up her cot so that it's like hidden from us. Because if she stares at us, we were worried that she wouldn't sleep.
Yep.
And once she went to sleep, right, we actually couldn't eat our dinner inside the room because we didn't want to like wake her up, right? Where
Yeah.
like
You turn
she
on
can
the light
smell
on it.
food,
Yeah.
she can hear. Yeah, so we ate in the toilet. Then we opened up. I went to like the konbini, the what do you call that? The local like convenience store, Lawson's. There's one in the
Yeah,
hotel.
Lawson's.
They would just Yeah, and it's quite shiok. I'll give you my konbini ranking later if you're interested. Now that I've eaten quite a lot of konbini stuff. But yeah, so that was interesting. Then after that, next day we left Narita. We took the Shinkansen to Sendai, which was quite interesting because we went from Narita, and then you actually can buy your whole ticket straight in one place. So you don't need to like buy leg by leg. Because I
Mm.
need to travel from Narita to Tokyo, Tokyo to Sendai. You can actually
Yep.
buy the whole leg, which is quite good lah. So the person there with my limited Japanese managed to help me buy all the way. And then when I reached Tokyo Station, we kind of had like, oh, like stunned again because those of you who have never been to Tokyo Station, it is a an experience because it is. If you think Raffles Place is crowded
Yeah.
on a weekday morning, like when rush hour, Tokyo Station is like another level,
Not
and
only that,
it's
it's
always
super confusing. It's so big, right?
yeah. There are so many escalators going to don't know where, and you try doing it with two pieces of luggage, a mobile cot, and a baby.
Yeah, I can't believe you dragged the cot. Like you carried the
Yeah,
cot
so
along.
it helped though because she's still sleeping in the cot. It gives
Yeah.
her at least something familiar to sleep.
Yep. Okay,
Um,
lah. Put your CrossFit to good use.
yeah, that's why we CrossFit. But anyway, we took the Shinkansen, which was amazing. It took only like 1.5 hours to get to, but it's very spacious and and very easy to travel on. I think Shinkansen actually is the most expensive way to travel in Japan.
Yep.
Like it is the cheapest way is to fly actually nowadays in Japan. To
Mhm.
get to like cities, big city is the cheapest to fly because you buy a round trip usually. Shinkansen you can't buy a round trip. You have to buy like single leg trips. So yeah, but it's awesome lah Shinkansen. And then yeah, so then we finally met our team here. We stayed with them for 4 nights. But something I wanna kind of talk about is, I mean, people have asked me quite a lot of this, is what's the difference between life in Singapore and life in Japan?
Mhm.
Like in terms of just like daily living. And I'll preface this by saying that of course I'm doing a lot of things from scratch. So like when I come here, I have nothing. I have no house, I have no phone
No
number,
car.
I have no car, no
No bank
nothing
account.
basically. And no bank account. And in Singapore, I don't know how it works in Singapore, but I'm just thinking if I'm an immigrant to Singapore and I come to Singapore for the first time, what is the number one thing I should get first? What do you think as a Singaporean? What would be the number one thing you should get?
Definitely
Phone? You
a
think phone
phone
number?
plan.
Or phone plan
At
first,
least
is
a
it?
data plan. Yeah.
Mobile line, right?
Even if it's not a
Yeah.
mobile line, at least a data plan. Like a data card, SIM card. Because
Yeah.
after that, you can do
I think,
anything that you want on the phone.
and you think that also like when you apply for I'm asking this because when you apply for other things in like you apply for your house, you apply for your car, the thing that they need you to have is a phone. Is that what they usually need? Phone number?
I
Because I
think
know I
it's
yeah, go
not
ahead.
what they need, but it's what will make everything smoother.
Easier.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Kenny and Terence are saying phone, mobile line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in China, where I stayed for half a year, the phone is like the most important thing you must have because without your phone you can't do
Everything you
anything.
pay
Like
also by phone, right? Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So like when you set a bank account, the first thing they ask you for is your phone. Give
Mm.
me your phone number. If you don't have a phone number, you can't do anything. When you buy a house, what's your phone number? Even when you buy the house, you need to create an account using your phone number.
Mm.
So in China, it's your phone. I guess Singapore is. I mean, we don't think about this kind of thing because in Singapore we already have everything like started for us, right?
Yep.
When we were born there. In Japan, it's your address. You can live like I
Okay.
literally just got my phone number today.
Okay.
2 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks in. I just got my phone number today. In Japan, your Zairyo card is this address card that you need. It's like the number one thing you need because everything they will ask you put your address. Even when you buy a car, they will ask you for your address because they want to know where you're gonna park your car.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's
Interesting.
interesting because lucky for us when we first got here, they kind of like this place that we're staying at now is actually in a seminary. It's like a Christian college, and they have this like temporary housing place that we have managed to rent for until we can find our own house. Um, and so when you first come in Japan, just like in any country, you have to like register yourself in the some countries like China, you register yourself at the police station. But
Mm-hmm.
in Japan, there's this place called the Shiakusho, which is like the town council. And when you go inside, it is I'm thankful that I have a team that can speak Japanese because I can't imagine coming to Japan with even if you have money to without Japanese
Mm-hmm.
and without Japanese people to guide you in what to do.
It's a higher translator,
'Cause-
lah.
and you not just hire a translator because it's not just being able to translate the language. It's having someone who knows what you need to do and to tell you what you need to do. Because a translator will literally just tell you what the other person is talking to you about. But they won't guide you to tell you, okay, you need to do this next, you need to do this next. So like this Shiakusho, when I went there, you basically get what do you get? You get three different cards from the Shiakusho. You get your Zairo card, which is your residence card. You get your health insurance card, Hokken, and you get something called a My Number card. And all these things, like if I didn't know, I wouldn't know I'm supposed to get them.
Mm.
And when you go there, you have to write. Oh wait, okay. Before I forget, let me show you something that you need to before you enter.
Sounds like a lot of red tape just to move to
Yeah.
Japan.
Do you guys see
Ah,
this?
yes, yes,
It's
your
called
seal, right? I remember this.
yeah. So this is called a hanko, and it's a seal.
Yep.
And the funny thing about this seal is that it's like your signature, and it's super important because you need it for a lot of things. But the funny thing is that you can make this anywhere. You can, you literally go to a supermarket and
It's a,
there's
like
this
a
little
vending
machine.
machine, right?
Yeah, it's a vending machine. You pay like $5 if you want the cheapest one, which I did. And then you put it's my surname in katakana, Chu,
Mm.
right? And that's all. And then you use this. So you go to this Shiakusho and then they ask you to write everything out. And if you have an English name, like most of us do, obviously, you have to like,
You use
yeah, I
Romaji,
don't
right?
mean for vending machine. Yeah, you have to. No, you can't just use Romaji. You must convert your Romaji to katakana
Katakana.
for them to
Wow.
read. Yeah,
Basically, it's
yeah, I can see
the,
them.
what do you call it? No, not onomatopoeia, correct? The way that it sounds, lah. Exactly the way
Yeah,
it sounds.
it's the pronunciation of
Yep.
it, lah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
so
you're learning Japanese now, lah. Kenny's asking.
yes, I've learned Japanese in Singapore. I speak I speak basic Japanese, conversational Japanese, so I can hold a semi conversation with someone if it's not something too serious. Yeah. But obviously I can't talk too deep. Like and when I talk about technical terms, like when I go to the town council, everything is just like over my head.
Yeah.
So anyway, at the town council, actually if you go as a single or you go as a couple, but the adults, it's actually pretty simple in terms of like getting the different things you need to get done. Like you get your residence card, you get your health insurance. But the one that's hard is for your kid. So when you have a kid, oh my gosh. I told Marian that I am both overwhelmed and impressed by the Japanese system. Because when you enter, I think I spent 1.5 hours to 2 hours just doing stuff for Rebecca. Because okay, so when you go there, right, the process there's so many forms,
Mhm.
but it's quite insane. You know that when you come as a gaikokujin, as a foreigner to Japan,
Yep.
if you have a kid that does and you're enrolled and you're registered in the system, do you know your kid gets subsidies? Like do you get money from the government?
Oh, even if you're not a citizen.
No, you're not. You get you get four payments throughout the year in different months. I can't remember the months exactly. And depending on how old the kid is, you get about $600 from the government in total every year,
Wait,
roughly
wait.
lah.
Even if you're not a citizen.
Yes, even if you're not a citizen.
Oh,
And
why?
not
Why?
only that,
Like, why do they give money?
I have no idea. This is their system. If you come here to work and you are so when you come here to work, right, as a even if you're a foreigner, when you have to be in their system, and that includes their health insurance. So, like Singapore, when you come to Singapore, you have to buy private insurance because you're not under like Singapore Medicare and all
Yep.
these insurance that
Yep.
the government offers to citizens. But here, when you enter, no matter which country you're from, you have to enter into the local health insurance, the
Mm-hmm.
government health insurance, which I think is quite interesting. But you also pay a lot of tax lah, because
Yeah.
if you work here.
But I would
But
assume
the
public
thing
healthcare there is pretty good, right?
it's insane. That is why Japan has so much public debt. It's to give you an idea, right? For Rebecca, until she is 6, no, until she basically as long as she's a child, her health care is free.
Oh, wow.
It
Wow.
is free for her. Yes. So like I have another missionary family who lives here. Their daughter who is 11 last year had a heart issue. So she has two small holes in her heart.
Oh, no.
So she did an operation in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think it cost her for the whole procedure? like including all the checkups and follow-ups? How much do you think it
I
costs?
mean, I would assume without subsidy, it'd be like tens of thousands, lah, right?
In Singapore, it'll be around there, right?
Yeah.
Even even if you do in Singapore,
Yeah.
right? Because even Singapore, like surgery is
Even
not free.
even if you go through like the public healthcare system, I would assume it'll be
Yeah.
thousands, tens of thousands.
Mm. It costs them $100.
$100.
Yes,
That's the amount I
it costs
paid
them
for
$100,
Meredith to get bonds, yeah.
and only because you have subsidy.
Yeah.
because
Because
she also
because
Shirley.
Sherilyn
Shirley is
is a
healthcare.
hospital staff, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she was it's $100, and the in Singapore, if you let's say you get scheduled for surgery, right, it's probably like 6 months down the road, unless it's super serious, right?
Yep.
They will have
Yep.
like you have to do a checkup appointment. They got theirs in like 3 weeks. She went for surgery.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's quite insane. So I think here, even the adults, like for us, when you go to any clinic, you show your health insurance card, your subsidy is immediately 70%. So you
Mm.
only pay 30%. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not excluding the your own private insurance. So immediately you already get 70% off already.
Okay, then
Yeah.
the question I have is what is the
Mm.
tax
Yeah.
rate?
So it's quite high. So everything you do in Japan
Yep.
is like based on your income. So how much you get taxed, right? Okay, obviously how much you earn determines how much you get taxed. And what kind of how much you pay for public services depends
Mm.
on how much you get taxed. So like for example, Rebecca's nursery. So I'm trying to put her in a boyfriend, a nursery here. And if you put in a nursery here, how much you pay for nursery depends on how much income you earn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you earn a lot of income, you have to pay the maximum amount for a nursery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you like, for example, like me, I earn peanuts because I'm a missionary here, then I will pay like very little. If in fact, I think for us, the $600 we get from the government will like be more than enough to pay for her nursery.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's a
But
progressive tax
I
system, lah.
yes, similar to Singapore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but if you ask me the exact amount, I don't
But it's probably
actually.
more, right? As in the percentages are probably higher
Oh,
there, lah.
for sure. Singapore has a very low tax rate actually. As in
Mm.
the yeah, has a very low tax rate, especially for our income brackets.
And
Yeah.
how do you earn salary? Like for you, for the missionaries?
So I get sourced income from Singapore. Right? So I receive income from churches or whatever.
Mm.
Then it gets sent to me. So however much I receive will be my income. Lor. That's how I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before I came to Japan, I kind of like because okay, there was this big issue with whether we should pay tax as missionaries,
Yep.
right? But now that I'm in Japan, I kind of understand why it's important to pay tax in Japan because all the benefits you get from the public health system and everything
Mm.
that you do public service is dependent on how much tax you pay.
Mm.
So I kind of understand why you need to pay tax because you receive all these crazy benefits, even
Mm.
as a foreigner,
Foreigner.
just as long as you are a resident in Japan, that it doesn't make sense that you don't pay tax.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As in the
So that's one of
benefits
the things
outweigh
that,
the cost of paying
yeah,
taxes, lah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Um, yeah. But then I think the good part, like, okay, so the weather here, I'm kind of glad I came this time in the middle of April,
What's
in
the
the end of
temperature
April.
now? 20 plus? No.
Today is a bit,
Wait. Should be
no,
quite cold, right?
today is
10 plus.
Today is a bit cold, so I think now it's 15, but it'll drop to about 9 tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. But I think on a daily basis, like today, outside was about 17 to 17 degrees. But it's a bit cold for this period for this time. It should be closer to like 22, 23 aircon temperature.
It's
But
May
the
now,
one
yeah.
thing that is really nice, yeah, it's nice is because you can bring now when you go to the park, it's really nice. Like you can bring I can bring Rebecca to the park. She can play even in the sun. It's so nice. I think we've been to more parks here than we've ever been in Singapore. Like Singapore, I don't get it. Like maybe for me, maybe it's just me. Like I like people say, "Oh, I bring my kid to botanical gardens." I'm like, I don't want to bring my kid to botanical gardens. She's gonna melt.
How
Yeah,
how
maybe
hot
it's
does
just
it
me.
get in summer? Chris is asking.
Mm, I think it gets hot. Apparently, it can get up to like 36, 37 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And apparently, the Singaporeans have told me here that it can get hotter than Singapore. But
Okay lah, but it's
but
dry
the
heat
good
lah.
news,
It's not humidity, right?
No, the good news is that it doesn't last long. Right, it's like 2 months of the year,
Mm,
basically, summer here. And apparently at night it goes back to like 25, 26 degrees. So
okay.
if even if it's hot, it's only hot in the day.
Sendai is like quite
But
north, like
it's
above
yeah,
the middle of Japan. It's more
mm,
towards the
I
north
think
of Japan.
yeah, yeah. I think it does protect a little bit, but not that much. I think. I mean, you still get heat, lah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. And oh my gosh, guys, I don't think because when you're a tourist in Japan, you don't actually go to a supermarket, right? You go to convenies and stuff like that, right? Because there's no
Yep.
need for you to buy groceries, right? You're not going to cook in your hotel generally. You just go and eat at good restaurants. But man, the produce here is so cheap. Like, okay, not even just talking about like your standard seafood and stuff like that, but even just your veggies and your local meat, it is like I can understand why. Like I've cooked almost every day.
Nice.
I don't really eat out. We don't really eat out that much because it is so much cheaper to cook here and so convenient. Like everything is kind of like I don't know because when I cook in Singapore, I don't know about you guys and people in the chat can correct me if it's different in Singapore that you feel. But like I feel in Singapore, I have to do a lot of prep work to like make a meal.
I know
But
what
in
you mean.
Japan, everything is kind of like pre-packed
Package,
already.
right?
Like
Yeah.
yeah, like your chicken is all sliced up for you.
Yep.
I mean, it can be quite annoying if you want to find a whole chicken breast lah.
Yeah, yeah.
But even the chicken breast you find, Singapore is like two pieces of chicken breast. But when you come here, it's like everything is sliced up for
Yep.
you. The sauce is already prepared for you. The vegetables are all cut up for you,
Yeah.
and that's what you can find.
I noticed because
And
like okay, when I want to have steamboat at home, right? Like hot pot. Then I like
mm,
to go Don Don Donki because
yeah,
when you buy the veggies, they are all like already
mm,
packaged for you, and like I'll buy the assortment. Then you literally
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to do any prep work. Maybe just rinse it with water,
yeah,
and then it's ready to go, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
But Singapore's
to give you an idea
Singapore's
of
markets don't do that. Yeah.
yeah, I think to give you an idea of like the size of Japan supermarkets, especially where I'm in Sendai, is actually so where I'm staying now is a place called Ayashi. It's Sendai City is like a big city. It's quite similar to like what you expect of regular city. But I would say I'm staying in what you would call the Jurong West of Sendai,
Mm.
a place that no one really wants to be. I'm sorry if you stay in Jurong West, guys, but it is not too near the city center. It's very near to
It's in
onsen
Aoba
and
Ward, right?
yeah, in Aoba. But it is very okay. But okay, to be it's a bit misleading because Alba word is huge.
Mm.
It's like it travels all the way up. It covers a lot of
Okay, like
mountains.
it's quite far away from
Um,
the coastline though.
yeah, yeah, it's quite far from the coastline. But I would say I'm very near to. I'm like in a more rural part,
Yep.
not rural, but
The rice
definitely not
paddy fields.
like yeah, like literally. If I look up my field right now, I look up the window now, I'll see a rice paddy field. Um, but the supermarkets here are huge. Like Donkey in City Square Mall, since there are a lot of people who are tuning in from the gym, is like the supermarket that I just went to this evening to buy my meal. It's like three times the size of Donkey.
Damn. Wow.
Mm. Yeah. So and it's like it's a standalone kind of supermarket. It's not like Singapore supermarkets are usually like inside a shopping mall,
Yep.
like level one, B1 or like level four kind.
Yep.
Even the big ones. This one is like in the rural areas, like all your shopping markets are shopping all your you don't have shopping mall, you just have like individual outlets.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like one big supermarket, one big home center, one big drugstore, one big, you know, secondhand store or whatever.
Yeah, I mean they have
Something
the
like
luxury of space lah, so
that. Yeah, yeah. And I think Kenny is right. It's cheaper to eat out in Singapore, but I would also say that where I am now, it's actually not expensive to eat out in Japan. The difference is that when you go for when you're a tourist in Japan, you don't eat basic food.
correct. You don't go for the cheap stuff, you tend to go for the good stuff. Right.
Yeah, like Japan
Yeah.
has Yoshinoya and Sukiya and like that sounds like your basic donburi. But who goes to eat Sukiya and Yoshinoya on your holiday in Japan? Right? You will eat your like super nice
Your
sushi, and you
torajis and your sushi zanmais and
yeah,
your
yeah,
ramen
right.
places. Yeah.
Which you can find here, but I mean, nobody's gonna eat it on a daily basis. So like, I think there's a lot of chain restaurants in Japan, and they're all very local. So if you now I'm in Tohoku Prefecture. If you go to like Kanto or Kansai, go to different areas, they will have different restaurants, different chain restaurants. But like yesterday, I went to was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I went to a restaurant called Marimatsu, like a kids meal with for Rebecca, which has just like an udon and a dessert and um either a ramen or whatever. It's like 290 yen,
Mm.
which is
It's like
now like $3.
350, yeah,
And
$3.
it gives you
Yeah.
a Happy Meal toy. You know the coin machine that you can turn.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, they give you like a coin that you can put in and turn it. And then like even for me, I ate like a huge katsudon, and it was like $7.
Mm.
Yeah, so it is definitely yeah, natto every day. Yeah, natto. Although I don't know how many people like natto here, but
Not me. Early
yeah,
exposure to
it's
gacha.
it's everywhere,
No,
man.
I
Gacha.
mean, I guess it's you have to know where to go and what
Mm,
to eat. Yeah, I'm
mm,
sure like if you were, let's say you were a foreigner who came to Singapore and you don't know anything about Singapore,
mm,
you're here for holiday, you're not gonna eat
yeah,
in like 鸡饭 in S11 or something like that,
yeah.
right?
You're not gonna eat Cai fan.
You're gonna go to
You're not
like
gonna
Din
eat
Tai
for it, right?
Fung, and you're gonna go to like places where
Yeah.
there are reviews and all that. So
Mm,
yeah, I would say like this misconception that going to Japan or staying in Japan is very expensive. I think it's something like
mm,
we discussed. Uh, Living in the city center definitely will have higher
mm,
cost of living lah. But I think like for
yeah, for
you,
sure.
because you're not living in the city center. I mean, you're not even living in Sendai city center, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so definitely it's a lot more affordable lah. I think
Yeah.
I
Like
would say that it's you would probably spend less money than me. Me living in Yishun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Even my rent is cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the produce that you
So,
were showing me over the last week.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
giant slabs of wagyu steak. For how
Not
much?
Wagyu lah. They're not all
Oh, not
Wagyu.
wagyu, like beef steak, right?
Yeah,
They were super
yeah,
cheap. Yeah.
yeah. So you can buy like a good decent steak here for like $5.
Yeah. Where you
Yeah,
gonna
and like
find five
yesterday
bucks for that size of steak in Singapore? No.
I bought Marianne like a donburi from supermarket. It has like what did it have? Ikura, hotate, like a bunch of like good seafood.
Mm.
It was $4
Yeah.
for a donburi.
There's no way you're
I
gonna
don't
get
feel
it.
guilty. I don't feel guilty when
Yeah.
I buy it for. I don't feel I'm spending a lot. Yeah, but yeah, and I think it's yeah. I think where I stay. So like in terms of rental, because I don't stay in the city center, like I can honestly tell you that I pay even less than my mortgage in Singapore. But that's my budget. Like I pay. I'm trying to live on a budget. Yeah, but it's very very comfortable. Of course, the houses here are way smaller, even in the countryside. Yeah,
Mm.
like, Singapore is big, leh. I
Yeah, yeah.
oh
Like the
sorry,
house that
bro.
you shared, the first
Yeah.
house, 72 square
Mm,
meters is tiny, bro. Yeah.
mm, yeah, it's tiny. So like it's a terrace, it's a two-story house,
But it's
but it's
72.
it's smaller than it's smaller than my four-room
Yeah,
HDB.
exactly. It's in between a 3 and a 4 room. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I can just
and
imagine how small it
it's
is.
probably even smaller because you have to count your stairs.
Mm. Oh, the stairs also
Yeah,
take up the square meter
yeah,
space, right? So you
yeah,
guys settle on
yeah.
the second one?
House. Yeah, we settled on the second house that we chose. So it's good because okay, so when you buy a house, you have to okay, so this is the crazy thing that you have to learn about Japan when you rent a house in Japan is that there is a lot of hidden costs.
Mm.
It's hidden to us, but it's not hidden to Japanese people. But to give you an idea, when I first so my house rent is less than $1,000.
Mm.
Okay? So that's my $1,000. My first amount that I'm gonna have to pay out from my bank account is going to be close to 5 times that amount.
Wow. Wow.
And
Okay.
5 times that amount, including, of course, the first month's rent.
Yep.
All right. Because when you come here, you pay a security deposit, can be
Mm-hmm.
up from 1 to 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this security deposit it's not a deposit in the stricter sense of the word because it's unlikely you will see that money come back.
Oh, really?
Okay, so when you think of security deposit in Singapore, you think of like it'll come back to you, right?
Yeah, when the
Like
contract ends.
yeah, or the contract ends, or it's used for like if you like do something with it, or your house like you break something in the house, then they use the deposit to
Yeah.
fix the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that sense, this doesn't come back to you most of the time. So 1 to 3 months. Then you pay some a gift. So you have to pay 1 month's gift to the landlord. It's like
What?
it's
What?
accepted. It's accepted practice.
A
Yeah.
gift?
It doesn't quite. Yeah. It's literally when you look on the website, it's a special like in Chinese is 礼物的礼 and then
Ah,
金 like okane. It's like
okay.
literally a present. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
you pay
goodness.
a 1 month's gift. All right. And then on top of that, you pay the property agent 1 month. So the photos
Legal
done for you.
extortion.
No, but I think it's just a culture thing, right? Because
Okay.
in Singapore, we're not used to this. Singapore, we're used to just paying
Like
like if
everything's
the
up.
rent is
Yeah.
2K, you pay the deposit and then you pay every month how much you say
Yep.
you need to pay. That's how we're conditioned. So, but in Japan, it doesn't work that way. You pay all these different things, and then when you actually rent the house, you have to pay for like parking. You have to pay for. There's a fee called key exchange fee. It's $220 in my house. So basically, you pay for him to give you the key. I,
to
I,
to
I
make a
was like,
copy of the
why am I,
keys.
why am I paying $10 for this key exchange? Doesn't even make sense. There's so much of these funny fees that you have to pay, but I'm just like, okay, like this is just what I have to do, to get the house. Yeah, and so that's just when you come. Like for me, I'm already paying like 5 times my first month's rent at the get go, before anything. Um, yeah, and it's
Lucky you
tiny,
sold your
tiny
PS4
thing.
away.
Yeah, and this is like okay. And the interesting is that when you get your house, right? You know when you in Singapore when you rent a house, like it comes either you can choose fully furnished or partially furnished. In Japan, when you buy the house, right, the house has to be stripped of everything that it owns is there.
Mm.
So whatever thing that you leave behind, even the light fixtures, right, get removed.
Oh, wow. So they
Yeah.
really
So
give you nothing.
so when I move into this house on Friday, right, I need to buy everything.
Even
I
like
need to buy
showers and
curtains.
stuff.
Oh no. Okay, so the bathroom. You know Japanese bathrooms. Those of you it's quite standard. It's like a unit by itself, right? Japanese
Yep.
bathrooms are not like Singapore bathrooms where it's customizable. You know, you can decide where you want your sink.
Yep. Yep.
Like Japanese bathrooms are like you just buy the standard unit, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah. So the bathroom excluded, everything else is like yeah fixed already. Ah,
See.
yeah. So this is one of the small things that if you ever rent a house in Japan, you have to ready to pay a heck of a lot of money at the start
Yeah, lah,
to
but
get your house.
you guys can't like spend too much on furnishing, right? In case you guys need to move somewhere else.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that when you when you buy something, I'm constantly having to think, if I move house, I'm gonna have to move everything with me
Yep.
if I move house. And not only that, let's say if I come back to Singapore for for a few months,
Yep.
do I you think if I come back to Singapore for a few months, right, and I change house, let's say I decide not to stay in the house anymore, I'm gonna have to repeat the whole process again. I'm gonna have to pay 4 or 5 months worth of gifts and deposits and rent to the new
Oh my god.
next house that I rent. Yeah. Of course, if you rent it again, I think you can. I'm not too sure whether you can avoid the gifts again and the deposits.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's you continue to stay. Yeah, but you have to pay addition. There's other fees you have to pay. There's this something called a management renewal fee, which is also a month's fee, and you pay that basically when your contract goes up and you want to renew your contract, you pay a management renewal fee.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, that's just that lah. And because we have so many box people here and gym people here, maybe I just talk about this CrossFit gym that I
Yeah,
found.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the gym that you found. Your new CrossFit home.
Wow. Okay, let me see if I can find the
It's
photo.
curious because so Chris uh was the one that linked you, right? The box.
Yeah, actually, Yeah, I actually knew that there was this CrossFit gym already, but
Oh,
thanks Chris
okay.
for linking to me. Yeah, but I kind of like when you Google CrossFit Sendai, like that's the first page that you see.
The what do you
Yeah,
call it? The
actually
internet
yeah,
ranking
and
thing
I
isn't very
actually
high.
asked, and I actually asked the the owner and the coach, like, is this the only CrossFit box in Japan? And in
In
Sendai, he said
Sendai.
yes. So yeah, and so I trust him. So it's very interesting when you go there. Firstly, it is tiny. Okay, that means how many? Okay, maybe those who have trained in CrossFit gyms before. How many racks do you think they have? Like squat racks. So like if you have one place for one bar, there's one rack. How many bars do you think they can rack in the gym?
I mean, I've seen the
The
pictures
total.
lah. But
Yeah, but maybe other
for
people
people
can
who want
answer.
to
If,
guess,
yeah,
yeah,
actually, Mark, I found that it's actually smaller than I thought because even though okay, so I thought initially there's only two racks.
mm,
But I realized it's because the rack that you have on the it stacks against the wall.
yep.
You can't put a barbell there because it's directly flush to the wall.
Oh my
So
goodness.
there's only one space to put a barbell. Like if you want to rack a barbell. So there's only one barbell rack.
So it's literally only one usable
Or
rack.
yeah, one usable rack and there's a very tiny space. It's basically if you compare to our Singapore box, right? It's basically you know where the girls usually train?
Mm,
There's this small area where it's like all the girls usually congregate, right? Like there are 10 girls in that one small area.
yeah,
That's basically the usable space in the whole gym. That's all.
yeah. You
And
were saying the
the
class
whole
sizes
class,
are three,
yeah. So
right?
the
Three.
max class size is 3. So when you when you go to class, the maximum size that you can go for is 3. And I don't know how many members they have, Kenny. I would say anywhere between 30 to 40,
Serious.
roughly. Yeah. If anything more, if anything, I'm overestimating the
Yeah,
numbers because
yeah.
I can see the whiteboard. I can see the number of people that come. It's about 30 to 40. 30
So,
lah, about
but he runs classes like throughout the day lah. So people just come and go, right?
30. Yeah. So it's so funny. Like Chris asked, at least you can be sure of a
Oh,
good coach to student
okay.
ratio.
So Kenny's
Oh,
asking, how can they afford to pay the 3K fee? You want to share
this
how
this is
expensive
something which
CrossFit is?
I have. Oh, okay. Yeah. So okay, this is really strange. Wait, before I talk, so to this morning I trained. I did a variation of DT. The class had a variation of DT. It's horrible because you
Okay.
can't drop the barbell there.
Oh,
So
my
it is
goodness.
DT in inverse. So you start with the push jerks, 6 push jerks, 9 power cleans from the floor, and 12 deadlifts, which suck because you start by with your barbell on your
Yeah.
rack
And
already.
no dropping of
Then you
barbell,
have
right?
yeah, and then no dropping of the barbell, which is horrible. Um, and it was just me and the coach. It was a one-to-one PT session. How they okay? So that when you go to the CrossFit Sendai website, right, it's so interesting. When I look at the drop-in fee, because obviously I didn't when I first go, the first thing I want to check is the drop-in fee. Right? I don't want to commit to anything.
Mm-hmm.
The CrossFit drop-in fee is Hasen, which is 8,000 yen, and that is $80.
80 over dollars. Yeah. Slightly over $80.
$80
80
for a
sing
drop-in.
to drop in.
80 Sing dollar. No, that's 80 Sing now with the current exchange rate.
Yeah.
If you were to use the previous exchange rate, it's like a
It'll be
hundred
more. Like
dollars.
$100. Yeah. When it was like 0.8.
But the crazy thing is that if you want to pay for a month's worth of classes, unlimited classes by the way, it is 1,200 yen, which is $120. So if you drop in twice,
You're paying more
you
than the
already
membership.
you already pay more than your membership for a month. Yes, that's a website, I
Yeah.
think.
It's called CrossFit Find, right?
Find, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so misleading because when I first looked in the website, I thought, oh, this gym is quite nice. It looks quite nice. I mean, it is very nice. It's just that it is absolutely tiny, and the membership fee is really funny. I'm just like, how? Yeah, but it's actually very cheap if you think about it. It's
Okay.
$120
$120
per month.
for a month is really cheap. But I want to ask, it's where is it located? Is it located like on the ground floor or
No. Oh yes, it's located on the ground floor, and apparently, I think the owner of the whole place, I think above is, I don't know whether it's residential, but you're basically not allowed to drop the bar. Which I was like, okay, that sucks, but I guess I'll be much stronger after training. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so
So
what's the reason? Did he give you a reason why you can't drop the bar?
just noise law. Noise law. Same as
Oh,
our old box. Yeah. I
okay.
think it's funny because the clientele that he has is very interesting. So I think in Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
our actualized CrossFit, what would you say the age range is? The most of our clientele is anywhere between
I'll say
25
around
to
30
35.
lah. Around 30. 30 would be like
Yeah,
average, I guess. 30-ish.
yeah. So even 25 to 40, right? That's about the age range,
Yep.
right? I would say the age range of the box that I'm going to starts at 45.
Oh,
So
wow.
there are a lot of older people
So
in this
you are
box.
an outlier, like way outlier.
I am the same age as the coach, and I would say we're the youngest.
Mm-hmm. The coach is
Yeah,
Japanese. Oh, more.
the coach is Japanese. Everybody there speaks Japanese. So I have improved my Japanese just
So
by going
much, yeah.
to the gym. Yeah, so like today it was just me and the coach, right? So
Uh-huh.
he kept talking to me, and then I just talked to him Japanese lor.
Oh,
Just try
good,
lor.
good, good. I mean, immersion is the best way to learn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, I think it's quite an interesting gym. I think if you ever come to visit me,
Hey, wait,
if you
wait,
want to go
wait.
more than once,
So you have to learn all the terms in Japanese?
oh, but I mean all the terms in Japanese
Or
is
do they
just
just
a
do the
katakana,
Romaji
just
kind?
the yeah, it's just the
Yeah.
bastardized version of.
Like
So if
Korean
you
though.
just like use
Korean.
dedorifto,
Oh, they the
push
little.
job,
How about Snatch?
but honestly, snatch it, snatch it. But honestly, he understands all the
The CrossFit terms lah.
terms in English. Like he writes everything in English.
Oh, okay. So
Right?
that
All
makes
the
it a lot
terms
easier
are
for
in
you.
English. Yeah, so I literally just go to the whiteboard and I just see.
Imagine
Oh,
if
okay.
his
I'm telling you.
programming was in katakana.
Yeah, and I tell you what's insane. Okay, so in Singapore, we're used to using an app for booking. For exercise, we use sugar, watt, and push press.
Yep.
Right. We were very used to like okay being able to do it digitally, and then if you want to cancel, you can cancel. Do you know how they do their bookings?
No.
You have to personally tell the coach like for the week or the month what dates you're coming, what days you're coming in.
Okay.
So like literally after the first lesson, he told me when you want to come in. Then I have to like look at my calendar and decide
So you have to
2 weeks
commit.
in
You have
advance.
to commit.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
said obviously you can change lah. But I'm like, so I was like, how do I change? He
Call
said you
him.
just call me. And then it's also hard because there's a group of three, right? I also don't want to train by myself all the time.
Yep.
Like I don't want to join the class where I'm the only one training. That's like not the purpose of why I'm there. I like to train with other people.
Yep.
But then I can't know that if I change. So I
And you
can
also
look at it
paise
and then
if you like change, take out a slot and then you change
yeah.
last minute, right?
So like yeah, so like tomorrow I actually have a class in the morning, but I can't make it because I have a work meeting. So now I have to change it with him. Yeah.
Mm.
But I feel paiseh to tell him because I already trained twice this week. Yeah. So
Yep.
I feel like wanting to ask him like, why don't you just put it on a Google spreadsheet? It feels more easy for you. Then you also don't need to keep like updating your own. And he writes everything on paper.
Oh, this is so
So
Japanese
there's just
style.
there's a lot of cancellations on his paper.
My God.
And
So
sometimes
Japanese style.
he'll
Everything
like
is like just
sometimes he'll
hard copy.
yeah he'll agree to my booking. Then after like 5 minutes later, he'll say, "Oh, sorry, so much, like there's a mistake. I realized that there's another class that I have to do." Then he'll change it for me.
Okay lah. You need to teach him how to go digital already.
I feel like telling him, "How about I design something for you?" But I think that it's hard because I don't think it's a matter of like it's just a system that he's very comfortable with
Yeah.
already.
And then he would have to get his members to adopt the new system as well lah. Yeah.
Yeah, and because all these members that I said average age is like 45 and above, like maybe the idea of using an app is not appealing to them. Yeah, like the hard copy calling. Yeah, Japan loves to call people on phones
Mm.
and
Does it
talk to
give you
them.
anxiety?
It gives me anxiety now because I don't speak Japanese
Yeah,
well.
because they will speak to you in
So
Japanese, but right?
if you call me and you start talking to me, I'm like, すみません、私は外
Like,
国人わかりません。全然わ
everything.
からない。ダメ、I don't understand it at all. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's a
Yeah,
contradiction
I
about
think this is something that we talked about before. Like Japan is such a paradoxical place, right? They're really
yeah
advanced in terms of technology, but then
yeah
they love to to use like really outdated methods of, I don't know, functioning. Like even the
so
way
much
that you had to
paper.
apply to go over there,
Yeah
there's so much like
yeah.
paper, right? Literally like documents and stuff.
Do you know that Japan is the world's leading user of fax machines?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be
Even today,
surprised.
they use fax machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything that I need to do is on paper. Like in Singapore now, everything is almost digital. Like
Mhm.
if I, in fact, Singapore hates paper now,
Have you
right?
heard that
Tell,
kids born
no.
end of the month in Singapore onwards will no longer have a physical birth cert?
Oh.
Yeah, I think from when 29th May or something. 20th?
But can you request one?
Yeah. I'm not sure if you can request one. I would think no, I'm not sure. But I just know that it's no longer gonna be they're not gonna issue
I
anymore.
think.
It's just a digital thing now.
Oh.
Which is kind of sad, right?
I mean, I think if you live in Singapore your whole life, it doesn't matter. But if you travel, you definitely want your birth certificate because you need that birth cert for like other things. Like when you travel, like you come to Japan, bring every cert you have, marriage cert, birth cert,
Yep.
death cert, whatever you have, you just bring because you're going to need it
Yep.
eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. I don't know how things are gonna be, for kids born in the second half of this year.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably going to be fine. I think if you live in Singapore, that you don't really use your birth cert for much, and if you use anything mostly for healthcare, it's already in the system. So I think living in Singapore, you're probably fine.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the gym. If you ever come visit me, and you want to go to visit the CrossFit Box, you're more than welcome to. I'll bring you there. Just be
Yeah.
sure to go for more than 2 classes, or you'll pay a $86 drop-in fee.
It's nuts. Christina says
Uh,
if you request for one, you'll probably charge.
yeah, yeah. I agree. You can just do it outdoor. Can although the funny thing is that there are so many playgrounds here in Japan. Like even in my neighborhood, I would say I can within like a 1 kilometer radius from my house. I think of my new house, that I can probably find like 5 playgrounds.
Nice.
But but it's not like Singapore where a playground is usually connected to a fitness area. There's like a pull-up bar or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, a playground is just a playground.
Yep.
There's like a lot of slides and everything. Great for kids, but there's no like fitness area. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. So that's I mean, if there's anybody have any questions about like
Yeah, I mean, if anybody
yeah,
has any questions in the chat, you want to ask Ian, just shoot, and then when we see it, we'll get to it. You can ask him anything of like, you know, how big is his house gonna be, how many stories, whether there'll be paddy fields.
I would say if you come visit me, we have like designed the house to like fit guests,
Mm-hmm.
but you definitely have to like squeeze. Like if you're a family, you have to stay in one room together. Yeah,
Yep.
because there's not enough place. Like my house is 77 square meters. That's tiny. That's a 3 room flat, basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
so it's 77. The one that you're getting is 77.
yeah, 77, 74. I can't remember.
Yeah, lah, but that's just the house itself, right? Um, the
Yeah,
outside area is not counted. It's not included in the 77,
yeah,
right?
but the outside it isn't that much. Like you get like a car park and like a storage for your tires, your snow tires that you need in winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other than that, you don't the house that I'm getting, okay, the house that I'm getting is not the owner of the house is not a person, it's a company, Daiwa House. It's a very big developer. It's like Capital Land
Mm-hmm.
in Singapore.
But you're renting
There
from
are
a
few
a,
of these,
a, a business, lah.
yeah, there are a few of these like big developers that sell this kind of rent this kind of houses. So the good thing about renting from these places is that the checks are very fast, right? Because it's not one person doing it, it's like a whole company that's doing it. Um and it comes with mine comes with internet already. Yeah, so it's pretty good. But yeah, so
But is the internet good
but it
enough?
doesn't give you much. Yeah, that's the question. Okay, so the funny thing is that when I came here, my team member showed me this infographic, and interesting thing is that on this infographic it shows like how fast internet is across different countries, and Singapore is the top.
Mm-hmm.
Singapore is like we don't. If you never really realize how fast Singapore internet is
Yes.
until you leave the country,
Yes. I mean,
like
we
how
have like
fast your
we have
mobile
like
is.
residential 2 Gbps plans. Like
Yeah,
in other countries, businesses have a problem getting 2 Gbps. Yeah.
yeah. It's really fast, and not just in terms of like your broadband, fiber broadband, but even your
Mobile
mobile network.
network, our 4G network, right?
Yeah, your 4G network is fast. So like you would think that Japan has a very comprehensive, very fast internet speed. But I mean, apart from Singapore and South Korea, which is probably number two, um, Japan is actually quite slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the middle of the
Oh,
pack
really?
among like
Okay.
the G7
Oh,
countries, like
that's
among all the
surprising.
big
I would
countries.
think that Japan will be
Japan is slow.
up there.
Yeah. So like if I do, I mean my network here is horrible, but like I think the plan that I have is like not even. I think it's like 200 megabytes per second.
That's fine lah.
Yeah, I mean it's
I mean,
but that's the max speed lah. Whether or not you actually get the 200. Singapore is like 2 GB.
200 Mbps is like
You don't
what,
actually get 2 GB.
10 years ago maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Christina, I stay by car. I stay 20 minutes without traffic from city center. Oh, that's my mom. I think. It
Oh,
says son. That's definitely my mom. I don't think Christina would ask me this. Yeah,
oh, your
my mom
mom's
is
name is
Christina.
Christina also.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
oh,
I
that's your
stay
mom.
25
Okay.
minutes. 20 minutes from the city
Hi,
center. She's on
auntie.
Twitch. Oh my
Yeah, your mom's on Twitch. She created an account and she's following our channel. All right. All right.
god.
So cool.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah. So
I have to go
I'm
to
really
I have to migrate to Japan or another country to get my mom to create an account.
don't choose Japan. Choose somewhere else. Go Korea.
Uh,
Yeah. I guess we can talk about. I mean, if you have any questions for Japan or other people have other questions, um, we can talk a little bit about other things.
have you installed FF14?
No. Okay. So the thing is that I haven't. I because I'm quite obviously I'm busy here because settling into stuff is a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
you have to do
Yeah.
a crap ton of things. So like
I'm
tomorrow,
sure you guys
here
are
I go.
like super tired every day with all the admin
Yeah.
stuff.
And trying to do all this while taking care of a 1 year old is tough.
Yep.
Like you just have to constant. So I think if it was just married enough, it'll be tiring, but kind of, but it will be not so bad. It'll be quite
Yes.
fun also.
Yes.
But just thinking of Rebecca is additional level of stress.
Yep.
So like to give you an example, if I go to a shopping mall, not shopping mall, like there's this Japanese store called Nitori. You will hear it a lot if you come to Japan, but Nitori is basically Japanese IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's IKEA in Japan, but Nitori is like specifically catered to the Japanese style of like
Furnishing.
doing, yeah, furnishing.
Mm.
So everything is like the specifications of your furniture is like almost tailor fit to Japanese houses. Um, it's kind of like Muji. Singapore
Yes,
Muji does
Singapore
do
has Muji.
furniture as well?
Yes,
Do
I
they do
believe so.
furniture?
I
Yeah, I
I
think
think so.
Singapore just opened a Nitori just opened a branch. Yeah, so you can actually buy Nitori items. So like even if we bring Rebecca to Nitori, right? Like we have a time limit to how long we can stay in Nitori. Because
Mm.
after a while, like a kid will not want to stay in a
Yeah.
like we can spend like hours looking at furniture, right? Because you need to like
Yeah.
measure
Yeah.
what you want to do. But like with Rebecca, you can't do that. You need to like
You get
yeah,
cranky after a while, right? And then you
yeah, share
gotta move.
cranky. And then one person has to take care of her while you do everything.
Yep.
Yep. So I haven't really had the chance. I will play some games like at night when she goes to bed. And then I'll do Japanese homework and everything and do some work at the end. But I'll have like an hour of gaming time. But I don't really trust my internet here, so I don't really play online games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have been playing Elden Ring though, which Marv bought for me. Thanks, Marv.
All right.
Just before I
I
left.
guess we can go into
Uh,
Elden Ring.
yeah, but I haven't. I basically haven't played the last 2 days, 3 days in Elden
Same.
Ring because
Same.
I decided to stop for a while. Firstly, to wait for you guys to catch up with me.
You killed the third boss, right?
I killed Renala already. Yeah,
Okay.
the Royal Academy boss. But I would say I've killed her and more. Like I've gone beyond her and cleared some additional side bosses already.
Okay.
Um, I've killed. Yeah, so that's one thing. And secondly, because of the way my house is structured, so maybe I can just show you guys a little bit. Like look
Sure, sure.
around my. Wait, let me turn on the.
Oh,
Yeah, it's that kind
nice.
of. So like, if you guys can see this army room, this is where I sleep. This is the futon, and
Yeah.
I would usually go up. And basically, that's all in the house. There's the
Actually,
living.
futons are super comfortable. When Sharon and I went over
Depends,
the last time and then we rented an Airbnb, we also slept on futons. Very comfortable.
yeah, depends on the type of futon you buy, and but I would say long term, if you're used to a bed, you want a bed.
Yeah lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like our house is literally just like that. That's the kitchen. That's the
Okay.
kitchen. And
Also,
then
it's really small
there is
lah.
it's very small. One room, one tatami room, which links to Rebecca is sleeping in
Sleeping,
this room,
alright.
right? And there's a toilet.
Oh, that's the front door? A toilet.
Yeah, the
Okay.
front door is
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's really small. So this place is from the church.
is a it's a Baptist seminary. It's not even my church. It's just a place that like my teammates managed to find
Oh, okay.
to let us stay for a while. Yeah, but it's it's absolutely tiny. So okay, the reason why I mentioned this is because every day I have to if I want to use my computer, I have to like
Set up everything.
I every day I had my computer and my setup in the room in a drawer because obviously I have a 1 year old and she would just
Yeah.
take my laptop and throw it on the ground.
Yep.
So to 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 take everything and to put it back again to everything,
It's
it's
troublesome
like
lah.
it's just too much energy to just mendoksai. So
Yeah. Man dogs.
I will kind of I will not I'll wait until I set up
You get your
my
own place
setup
lah, right?
my new house. Yeah,
Would
before
there
I
be a room for you to set up like your own personal area?
uh so because we have guests in mind, we kind of like are thinking of keeping a room spare room for the guests. So it's more likely that our my study area, like where we will study Japanese and a table like to study table will be in our bedroom as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either that or our study my it's like kind of weird because it's not my study table will be where my guests sleep also.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is a bit awkward. Yeah.
So no man cave for you.
It's fine. I think. With only with a 77 square meter house, you can't really afford a man cave.
Yep.
Yeah. The amount of size we have.
True, true.
Yeah. Yeah. But how have you so okay, so moving away from Japan stuff, although people who want to ask about Japan, feel free to ask. How have you how long have you played Elden Ring?
I think I have about 8 hours ish. Hold on, let me see. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot actually.
8 hours. Yeah. So
Mm,
I think Zetian has the same amount of hours as you, maybe slightly more. But I
I've
think you're
put
further
almost
along
50
than him.
hours.
I'm quite sure you're further along than him. Yeah,
So
because he rewrote. So he started off as a
for he
samurai.
rewrote
Yep.
uh
Then I
by
think
boring,
he
is it?
changed. He went caster. He went for a caster build. Yeah, and he was telling me it's so much easier.
For now.
Is it
For now.
really?
Yeah, because you haven't faced okay, so Renala, the third boss,
Mm,
is hyper resistant to magic.
I see.
It's why I beat her in one try. Because I just took my
Uh,
giant sword and just smashed her in the face 3 times and she died. But 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 when Zetian gets to her with a caster build, he'll be damn frustrated.
okay. So she'll take less damage lah.
She'll take almost no
Oh
damage
wow. I
from a magic build.
I wanted to I wanted to stick to a melee build because like I feel like that's the
Definitive
definitive
soul.
the
Yeah.
definitive Souls experience, right? To go melee. But of course people would
It's
say
the
like
illusion.
if you want the definitive experience you cannot use summons, but you screw that. I'm gonna use summons because I'm not that good.
Actually, I don't know whether you feel that sometimes maybe you'll feel later on as you get better, as you get more experience in Souls games. Sometimes the summons are more trouble than their work.
Yes,
Because
they hinder you also.
because you are playing a sword and shield build, right? You're playing a barricade build,
Yes,
right?
I'm playing a confessor.
So you actually want the boss to focus on you, because then you can counter him,
Yep.
right? You
Yep.
can do the barricade, you can like stun him and then you stagger him,
Yep.
right?
Correct.
So actually for you, summons not that good at the start unless
So
they do a crap ton of damage at the
so
start.
okay. So we talk about Margate. Okay. So for people who don't know
First
what we're
boss.
talking about, um, Elden Ring. It's a relatively new game. I think it came out in end of March. Is it
Yeah, February, I
or
think.
February? Can't remember.
Yeah.
It's from
Yeah,
this.
together with Horizon.
Yeah, it's from this company called FromSoft. They are a Japanese
Mm,
company, right? Yeah,
yeah.
and they make um. So basically, they created a game that has become a genre of itself on its own. The genre is called Souls, basically Souls, Souls, and it's normally characterized by really difficult combat where you die super easily, and you don't do much damage. So you really have to like learn the moves of all the different enemies and
Mm,
master them and know exactly when to dodge, when to jump, when to go into attack, when to run away. So it becomes more of like it's almost like a Dance Revolution kind of game where you have to keep trying until you learn. Like it's almost like a dance in that sense. Yeah.
mm,
So one of the major characteristics of a game, of a Souls like game, is you die a lot. Like you really die a lot. So you just die and then you try again, you die and you try again. So this what happened was that this new game, the biggest hurdle for like a lot of
mm,
players at the beginning is literally the first boss that you meet. Like within like I don't know 1 hour of starting the game, uh, it's
mm, mm. Yeah.
he is a huge wall. So to put it into perspective, right? Um, so we play on Steam, which is on PC. It's out on consoles also lah. And on PC, you can actually see like worldwide how many people who own the game have actually beat the first boss, and
Mm,
it's only about 70+%. So that means there are 20% of like the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who have bought the game who can't beat the first boss and then they give up. And I can really like relate to them because it took me
mm,
5 hours before I managed to beat the first boss. Yeah, because I died
mm,
like I think I died like close to 20 times lah, 10 over times.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when I finally beat him, I used the jellyfish summon instead of the wolves.
The tank
The
summon.
tank summon, yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
it was, I would say, it was super frustrating. Uh,
mm,
like I would try for like 1 hour, then I would just give up. Like I'll stop. I'll try for like half an hour, then I'll stop. Yeah,
mm,
yeah. But
yeah. I
but when I
yeah.
finally beat, when I finally like killed the boss, I was like this huge
Yes.
sense of relief.
Die.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be one of the 20+% who don't make it
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the. So the thing about Souls games, apart from the dying thing, is that your progress is limited by how you die. So you get souls when you kill things, which you use to upgrade your character and buy items. But when you die, you leave behind your corpse.
Yep.
And so, like for example, let's say you die at the boss, you leave behind your corpse. If you want your levels back or the stuff that you need, you have to go back and claim your souls back.
Yep.
But if you die on the way, or the boss kills you again before you can
You
do it,
lose
you lose
everything.
all your progress that you have.
Yep.
Yeah. Which yeah. So anyway, um, I think almost because I've played, there are many Souls games, Dark Souls 1 to 3, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. These are some of the games that FromSoft has made. All these games have a similar like first boss that is a wall. Because I think the way that Miyazaki, the creator of From Software, he creates these games, he wants you to play in a particular way. Like he's trying to. Oh, Hades, yeah, is very similar. Hades is a Souls-like game.
Yep. So
It's a
Hades is a
Souls-like game.
Souls light. Lite light. Yep.
Yeah, in the sense that you have progress that continues forward as you play. So you do get stronger and stronger, stronger and stronger. You don't like, you don't lose your progress you don't lose your progress, you don't go back to zero. You constantly get stronger. So like a person who has 100 hours in Hades will be way stronger than a person who is like 0 hours in Hades. Um, but I would say going back to that point, Miyazaki he created like if each game that he's made, there's like a particular way that you must approach the game. So like and each boss is there to teach you the right way to play the game. So in Sekiro in Bloodborne, there's a boss called Father Gascoigne. He
Yep.
teaches you Bloodborne is very different from Elden Ring and Sekiro, for example. Sekiro is a counter game. You must learn how to parry, like block the moves at the exact same time and
Yep.
stagger the person, and then you finish him off. Bloodborne is a game that rewards aggressiveness. So you can't just play defensive. You must constantly attack because Bloodborne has a mechanic which lets you regain health immediately if you attack straight after you lose it. It's like a life steal kind of mechanic.
Yep.
So if you don't use that mechanic, you confirm will lose to that boss. So the game kind of forces you to learn it that way. And Elden Ring is kind of like the culmination of all his games. So if you want to play it like Sekiro, you want to play that samurai parry build, you can.
Mhm.
If you want to play the Bloodborne aggressive build, you can. Or you want to play the old Dark Souls game, like very defensive, just take a shield and hide behind your shield for a long time, you can play that way as well. But regardless of that, you still must know how to take your time, don't overextend, and kill the enemy. And I think most people who play normal action games, like action RPG games, they just usually, they just like spam X button and try to hammer the boss, and then eventually they'll just take the boss down, right? Through just
Yep.
sheer attrition, they will kill the boss. But this game, Elden Ring, doesn't let you do that.
Doesn't. Yeah.
You have to have skill. Like you could over level in this game, honestly, because you can. That's the good thing about this game is that if let's say you face this boss, which is what Marv did basically, right?
Yep.
You face this boss, you keep bashing your head against this wall, and then you're like, screw this, I'm gonna go level up. So he goes to another location and goes and like levels up like 20 levels,
Yep.
comes back, he's like, haha, I'm ready. Then probably the first time he fights the guy, he still gets bashed, he
So
still gets his head bashed.
let me share my experience. So um I reached the boss when I was like level, I can't remember, 12 or 16 or something like that. And then
Way
I
too early.
yeah, I tried, and then I got destroyed. Like I got destroyed in like 3 hits, I think. Then I was like,
Mm.
oh oh. So I tried a few more times, and obviously I just kept dying lah. I think the best I got him was like 80% health left, maybe. And I used up like all my potions. So I went to Google, I was like, recommended level for first boss of Elden Ring. And then Google said, recommended level 25. So I was like, okay, I guess I have to go kill more stuff. So I killed more stuff, and then I went back at like 25. And then I died in like 5 hits. Yeah, then I was like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna get super over leveled. So I went to level for another like 4 3 4 hours. And I went back at level 40. No, sorry, 38. Went back level 38. And I still died. Like, okay, so I went back level 38. And the first attempt, I got him to, I think, below 50%. And then I died.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah,
happens
because
is that,
he has a second stage.
yeah, even though you are over level, you, it doesn't mean like you don't take, a lot of damage. You can
Yeah,
probably survive maybe 1 or 2 extra hits. That's all.
yeah,
Yeah, so I was like level 38 versus like recommend level of 25, and I still was getting like destroyed, and I really had to learn when to attack, when to move away, when to run away, when to roll.
yeah,
Yeah, but I guess like the extra like maybe 2 hits gave me a bit more like breathing
yeah,
space.
leeway.
Yeah, and I learned like give me more time to learn lah. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's so obviously there are very overpowered. There are builds that you can build in Elden Ring where it makes your damage so ridiculous that you can trivialize the game.
Yep.
But if you play the game normally through a normal build, whether you're playing like Marv's Confessor build, um, you will still meet bosses that you can't just like close your yeah, some games you can like I can pass my remote control to my controller to Rebecca, and if I'm leveled enough, she can literally just press any button and
She's
the boss will die. She just press the button, she can jump, she can get hit by the boss 1,000 times, and I'll still win because my level is just high enough. Like WoW, right? The moment you're over leveled, right? I mean WoW is
yeah.
not an action game. But if you're over leveled, the mobs don't do any damage to you, basically.
Yep.
right? They just hit
Yep.
you and then they tickle you and then you just
Then
like
you
laugh
like
at
do
them.
one attack to them and then they die straight away.
Yeah. So but that's not the way in Elden Ring. And I think firstly Elden Ring I think is amazing because it's really beautiful. It's a very beautiful game. Um in terms of its design and world building. And I really, really enjoy that I can because it's an open world game, right? Very similar to Breath of the Wild. I like that the map isn't there's no like map marker. You know, like nowadays games, they'll point you in like 20 different directions.
Yep.
Then they'll put like a giant highlight on the map to
Mm.
tell you,
Like they'll say
come
like
here.
these are
And
all
they'll
the
show you,
places of interest.
yeah, and they'll
Yeah.
show you like a dotted line to go to that place. Then when you go back to the real world, it'll show you like how to get there. Um, but Elden Ring doesn't have that. You just like go there and you want to search everything because you never know when there's a secret behind the corner. So where other games kind of like force you to look, not force you, but they point you in like 20 different directions. Elden Ring doesn't point you anywhere, but you kind of want to discover everything because you feel like there might be a secret hidden behind this corner.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, there's nothing. But when you find that one time after, you're like, oh, found this secret area. I got it. Let me go and fight. Let me go see what's inside. And then you go inside, you find the boss and it kills you. Then you're like, crap, I need to go kill it again. Then you go and find the same. Then you do this. You just repeat the whole process again. Yeah. So
So
I
I,
think
I
that's the
I think that's what I'm
mm,
gonna do because I haven't really explored like the first two
yeah.
areas. I
I
just
think you
went
should.
like straight for the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the best Elden Ring experience is if you just like try to explore kind of like how you played Breath of the Wild actually. Like you did all the Koroks and I
Yep.
mean you always say Breath of the Wild is like your top one of your top games of all time.
Yep.
Right? Definitely your most favorite game on the Switch.
Yep.
Um but like with Breath of the Wild, it's the same thing, right? You just go and explore. And I think with Elden Ring, like kind of have to explore to get the most out of the game. So don't be in a rush to like get to the next big boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we should play soon together actually. I'm quite interested to see how co-op works.
Mm.
So maybe I will wait until the three of you reach Renala and finish Renala first, and then we can play together or something.
Sure.
Yeah,
Should be there by the time you move to your new place. I hope.
yeah. So if I get my keys on Friday, Mary and I estimate that will take about a week before we actually move
Have
into
you all
the
shop
house.
for your furnishing already?
Yeah, so Marianne is really awesome in the fact that she like downloaded the floor plan of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Then she went to go and download, then she go and measure. Because, okay, it's interesting. In Japan, they don't measure the house by meters, the
Okay.
rooms by meters.
Okay.
They measure the rooms by tatamis. So, like, 4.5 tatami is like a specific size, 6 tatami is a specific size,
Okay.
9 tatami is a specific size. So,
What
you can
a
actually Google it.
what a strange
Yeah, very interesting.
way to
Measure rooms, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So what Miriam did was she went online to find like what does 4.5 dummies mean. So she went to measure the specifications. Then she went to go and like download these really cute icons, like if it's a sofa icon or a table icon. She went to download the icons and then she go and shrink it to the exact specifications according to the floor plan. Then she tried to rearrange like what she wants. So she compares it to the IKEA or Nitori website
Mm-hmm.
that we like that thing, and she tries to fit it in the room to see whether it fits.
I
Yeah,
see.
so I think Marianne has been in charge of all the. She's my interior
Wow.
designer.
That's
Uh,
very like intricate. Like doing all this stuff.
yeah, but I think it's something that she enjoys. Like it's quite fun also to, and because we are on a budget, so we also with this house we don't want to spend too much. And I think our process of buying for the house is more like we just buy the bare essentials of what we need
Yeah,
first.
I'm sure lah.
Like not gonna get things that we don't need. So like just out off the top of my head, you need to buy bed, curtains for Rebecca, a fridge, a washing machine, and a gas. It doesn't even come with a stove. You know the
Oh my
stove. You need to
goodness.
buy the stove.
You're
Yeah.
gonna buy a gas stove. I
Yeah,
assume
I'll
like
buy
in
it
Japan
because
it's all
the more modern houses electric stove, but the house that I got is a gas stove, and it's actually quite cool. Like,
yep.
I actually enjoy. so the system in I can't explain it now, but Singapore, your gas stove is like I don't know how does your hob work, but you kind of like press it down, you twist it,
Yes.
and then the spark comes on, and then the gas will come on at the same time, right?
Yep.
Then you wait for it to come on. Japanese has this like button system where you press the button, it will immediately like start the fire at the highest maximum um flame,
Mm,
and immediately light it up immediately. And then instead of using a knob like what you see in Singapore, it's just a slider.
I see. Have I
Yeah, and
ever
you can't
told you
turn
about
it off.
our me and Sherlin's Airbnb experience?
Oh, did you also cook in a
So
Airbnb?
so it was our first time going to Japan, I think, together, and
Sherilyn said
we
no.
so we rented this Airbnb with Zhijian, our friend, and his wife, and it was a nice place. I would say it's a nice place. It's kind of like your place, but maybe slightly. Actually, I think the size is about the same. Maybe slightly bigger. Also, two rooms, like side by side.
Yeah.
And then lah, as like what you're saying in Japan, the toilet and the shower is separate. Okay, but the thing about the shower is that they had a heater, but the heater was gas powered. So
Mm,
in Singapore, we take it for granted. We want hot water. We just like press the switch, right? Turn on your
mm.
heater. If you have like a tank, you wait for a while. If you have like
I
the
think I know
electric
where
one,
this is going already.
theirs was like a gas heater where you had
Yeah.
to
Put
the
the
the, the
kerosene in.
way to operate it is super
Uh,
complicated. It's not even like a switch. There's like instructions that was in Japanese, but there were pictures drawn lah. And then you have to like turn on the gas, and then you can smell the gas, and then you have to
yeah,
like turn this crank, right? It was a crank that would light like send sparks into the thing to light the boiler on.
yeah,
So when we first like entered, like moved into the Airbnb, right? We were like
yeah,
we had no idea how to do it because we kept trying, and then the whole
yeah.
Airbnb kept being filled with like gas smell,
Okay,
like
kerosene
kerosene
smell.
smell.
Yeah,
But we
damn
couldn't turn it
scary.
on, and we were damn scared. Yeah, and we were like
Yeah.
we went to YouTube to find out how to do it. Yeah, and then
Why?
so me and Zijian were like in the toilet squatting down at the corner of the boiler, like trying to turn it on, and then the two ladies were like at the other end of the Airbnb in the furthest corner they could be because they were damn scared it was gonna explode.
Just explode.
Yeah. So
If
I
our
remember the
husband
first
dies,
the first night, right? We didn't manage to turn it on. So we all bathed in
oh
like
no,
icy cold water because we went there
oh
in like
no,
March, right? We went in March, something like that.
oh
Yeah.
no.
It was super funny. But the second hours we got it lah. Wow, it was damn scary. Like the entire room was just like smelling of gas.
Yeah. Actually, this is So something about Japan is that everything uses kerosene. So you can literally go and buy kerosene anywhere. Like the supermarket that I went to, outside the house, outside the supermarket, there's a little small like vendor that you can just like put coins in, and then you can pump your what you call jerry can, basically. Okay, every house will have this. Well, every house will have a jerry can because I don't know whether you can see. Maybe yeah. Can you see this thing here?
Yeah.
This thing. So this is a gas
Yeah.
heater. This gas heater is a bit more modern because it is connected to a gas tank outside already. So
Okay.
I just need to, and because I stay in this place which has a game with as a groundskeeper, so the person will actually fill up the gas tank
Mm.
for me. But if I stay in my house in the future, like I need to, you can buy portable kerosene heaters, and you have to top up the kerosene heater. Like if you use it the whole day, every like 2 days you need to fill up the kerosene tank
Mm-hmm.
again. So you actually like have to learn how to like buy kerosene, and how there's a way to like there's a machine. You can either buy the portable pump to pump kerosene in. Like
Mm-hmm.
it connects, it's like two tubes that one goes into the kerosene jerrycan, one goes into the kerosene, the heater that you want to pump. And then you can either press to pump, or you can buy the machine that transfers it automatically. Yeah. But I can totally understand, like at first if I didn't know how this works, I would be very scared. So because the moment you turn it on, it smells like gas really.
Yeah. Yeah. They were like
Yeah.
so conditioned to be like afraid that gas will
Yeah.
just blow up the whole place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think when you so like yeah, so I have to buy a gas stove. Like just off the top of my head, there's like I have a whole list of things I need to buy. So we'll try to get it all done. Because once we have the keys, we already start paying rent already.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense for us to not move in as soon as possible. And obviously because it's a bigger place than what we have now,
Yeah.
we want to move in as quick. And it's a much nicer place also lah, definitely than what we stay now. And more central. Like you can walk to parks, you can walk to um the shopping, you can walk to like supermarkets immediately.
Mhm.
You don't need to even drive. Yeah. And there's a ramen shop right outside.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's a chain shop lah, so it's not that. I haven't tried it yet. Um, yeah. So it's called Ramen Korakuen.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've heard of it
Is it the
before.
one that you
It's
went
a
to? The one that you showed
no,
me
I
pictures?
have
No.
not been there before. No, the one I've been to is a different place. That one I can. There's one that I because I'm obviously limiting my what do you call this? My ramen intake. If I just eat willy nilly, I'll die of overdose of sodium. Um, but I try to eat. I first want to eat like once every. I get to eat one ramen every week. I get to eat one ramen. So there's one
Yeah, that's
I
well.
tried near the box, and there's one that is driving distance from my house. But there's ramen shops everywhere, like honestly. Like even in the town that I stay in, there's probably like 10 to 15 ramen
Yeah, I'm sure
shops.
lah. It's like the staple one, right?
Yeah, it's not really that stable, but there's enough shops that it's easy to go and find. And the
Mhm.
ramen koi is very cheap. Like a typical ramen is like 300 yen, $3. Yeah,
Nice.
so it's quite cheap.
$3 is really cheap.
Yeah, yeah. They have like lunch set menus also, so it's very cheap. But obviously, I won't bring you guys there lah, unless you want the authentic living in Japan experience.
I mean, those like shops that are run by like the obasan
Ramen pop.
normally
Yeah,
are like gems, right?
yeah. I'll try to find you. I'll try to find those like places which is like not only um. I think the places that people want to go to are the places that only locals know.
Mm, for sure.
Because I think the places we go to in tourist like that we know of that are good, most of them, a lot of them are touristy places. Like they are, even every Singaporean knows it already. Yeah. So
Well, I mean, like when we went when I went with Chris, a lot of the
yeah.
places that we
Oh yeah,
went to,
Christmas. Yeah.
um, no foreigners, man. Mainly just
Yeah.
locals queuing.
Okay lah. You went
Yeah,
with Chris, who gets his recommendations from
that
inside
block.
sources as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
if you use Japanese websites with no translation,
Mm.
then obviously you higher chance you'll find gems lah that only the locals will know. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And then I only just realized that tabelog is actually tabe log.
tabi logger, right?
Like it's
Yeah,
tabe log, like
tabi is food lah, yeah lah.
log, and then log is like a journal
Like record.
log.
Yeah.
Yeah, record. Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Chris is like,
Um,
do you just realize this?
I mean, I don't use Tabelogger normally, even right now. So yes, I just realized it. He's like judging me right now, dude.
Actually, that's what we did also when. So after Chris introduced the website to us, I think when we went to
Mm.
like Hokkaido and stuff, then we just was it Hokkaido?
Use
When we
Tabelog.
found the curry place. Yeah, so we just like went to Tabelong and then we see which is the one that the locals
Mm,
rated really highly. Then we just went there lah.
mm,
Yeah, I
mm.
think more trustworthy than like Google reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, any last? It's been almost 2 hours, so pretty long podcast really.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean it was
mean,
good to hear
it's
about
gonna
your adventures.
yeah. And there's so much more. I haven't really even
Have you watched
done
Doctor
much.
Strange?
No. I don't even know where the movie theater is, to be honest,
Is there even one
right
nearby?
now. Uh, is there a movie theater? I mean, I have to go to Sendai for sure. So I
But
have to
that's
go
like
to the
what, an
city.
hour drive, right?
No. It's 25 minutes.
Your
It's
mom's
not far.
asking if there are big shopping malls around the area.
No, but like I said, in Japan, shopping malls in Sendai is not a thing. It's more like if you've been to the US, like the more suburban areas, there are like big areas where there are like many different outlet stores.
Mm-hmm.
Singapore is like one shopping mall has like 100 different stores, right?
Mm.
In Japan, it's more like you can't go to a big area. There are like 10 different stores, but each store is
Huge. The size of a
ginormous.
shopping mall.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's that kind of thing, which I kind of enjoy. Yeah, and usually each of the stores have like almost everything you need. So like there's a shop called Sendai here, which is a home center, and it's basically like everything you need to buy for your house. Not your house. It's not furniture wise, but like DIY stuff for your pets, stuff that you need to get is all inside there. So yeah, I prefer that. So no shopping malls. But if you want to go shopping mall, mom, I can bring you. You just go to Sendai Shi. I just release you in the main shopping arcade. Yeah, yeah.
It'll be nice to go back.
Uh,
I haven't been to
mm,
Sendai since I
into
was 11.
yeah.
11, yeah.
Mm,
20 over years.
mm,
Yeah.
mm, yeah.
We'll come soon. We'll come and visit soon.
Yeah,
Once they let
definitely.
us know when uh free and easy tourists can enter the country.
I know Chris is coming.
Yeah. I mean it's still a gamble for him lah, because there's no guarantee
Mm,
that by September
yeah,
they can enter. Yeah. Because for
yeah.
now it's only they said they're gonna only open next month for tour groups, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something new, right?
Yeah.
That
We
yeah.
just hope that there is no fourth variant or something like that lah. Yeah. And the numbers stay low.
Then you guys GG.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope not lah, because I do want to see people come in and even visit us. So
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, any last things that you want to say or last questions that we have before we head off? No, I think that's good.
Yeah, I think
Not
it was a good episode. It was good to catch up with you.
yeah, yeah. We'll plan one soon again, and we can talk about other things. Maybe
Yeah.
by then I'll show you my new. I'll definitely by 2 weeks from now. I'll definitely show you guys my new place. Uh, and yeah, we'll see what happens then. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the Two Gamer Dads episode 17. Hope to see you next time on episode 18. Maybe we'll name it something else. The one where
We'll
Ian goes into
try to get a guess.
a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
see
was
if I can
thinking of
get
getting
a new Japanese.
Jamie. Then
Oh yes,
we can have the Gaijin episode.
the
The foreigners,
yeah,
Singaporeans
yeah,
living in foreign countries
foreign
episode.
country.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching Two Gamer Dads podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll see you guys next time on the Two Gamer Dads podcast. See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye.